All right guys, so we're in the middle of a backcountry late season mule deer hunt. Although it doesn't look like late season right now, it is middle of November and we're getting ready to break camp and move up drainage a little bit. And I thought it'd be a good opportunity just to show you guys some of the stuff that I would carry with me on one of the late season hunts like this, because the temperatures on a hunt like this in the area we're in can swing, you know, anywhere from well below zero up into the, you know, maybe high 30s, 40 degrees, something like that, which is what it has been here recently. And so when you come back into these areas, you know, we're miles from any, like a lot of miles from any kind of civilization. And so the clothes that you bring in, the gear that you have to bring in, you got to think about, you know, what are you going to bring, what are you going to leave, because you're carrying everything on your back. And when it comes to clothing, everything that I bring has to serve multiple functions, or it has to be as versatile as possible. And so I'm just going to kind of walk through some of the things that I would typically carry on a hunt like this. So first off, I've actually got on a pair of the lightweight merino, I think they're called the Wick boxer briefs. And then when it gets cold, normally I'll have a pair of these long john bottoms. This is the Kiln long john bottoms. I haven't been wearing these because I've been wearing these pants, and I'll talk about these in just a minute. But I do have them with me for when the temperatures do drop. We're supposed to get some weather here, and actually coming in tonight. It's supposed to rain and snow tonight. Hopefully snow, and get these deer moving a little bit. So Kiln long john bottoms, Kiln quarter zip hoodie. I love these things. I carry these pretty much on every hunt that I go on, both of these, top and bottom. I have one of the mid-weight neck gaiters. Again, this is something, because the temperature has been pretty mild, I haven't been using this, but you know, when you're out here like this, you can't just run back to the truck and grab something. You got to be prepared for whatever conditions you're going to face out here, and they can swing dramatically on a hunt like this. You guys have seen this, my down vest. This is the Brooks down vest. This thing stays in my pack pretty much all the time. It literally, I don't know what it weighs, but it's light as a feather. Doesn't weigh anything, doesn't take up any space. You can compress it. Take off my bino harness so you can. So the base that I have on right now, this is the Wick short sleeve tee. On top of that, I'm not sure what they call this. This is the grid fleece or something like that. It's a synthetic layer. I like this. I've been using this quite a bit. And then over the top of that, my wool shirt that Liz made. And then the outer layer that I have is the Uncompahgre Foundry jacket. And this is serving both as my, you know, outer like heavy parka type jacket, and also if we get some wet weather, this is going to do a pretty good job of turning that, keeping me dry. The socks that I have on, these are actually, I'm not going to take my boots off right now, but these are wool socks that I got from Kifaru. And then they're not lightweight, but they're not heavy either. And then in addition to that, I've also got a pair of these heavyweight, these are bison wool from Bison Wool Company, just a kind of a heavier wool sock. And I get questions when I talk about these things. I get questions like, "Is bison wool really warmer?" And it's like, I don't know. I just got these. Liz got these for me for Christmas. I got several different pairs of them, and they stay up. That's one of the things with heavy wool socks, is sometimes you can get them and they just don't stay up very well. But these don't ride down your calf and end up in the bottom of your boot like some of the other ones will. I like those. And then a pair of the kind of like flip top mitten fingerless glove type things from the same folks. I also have a pair of the high top gaiters, or the I don't know what these are called, the Bramblers or something. Anyway, they're heavier gaiters from First Light. I haven't been using these because we don't have any snow, but if we do get some deep snow, I'll definitely be using these. And then also if it just gets super cold, even though you might not have snow, having gaiters on your lower legs really helps to keep your feet warm. The boots that I'm using this year, these are the Crispy Legends, and they've got 200 grams of insulation in them. I wore these all elk season and then pretty much all of October chasing whitetails around with Finn and Liz. Packed an elk out in these already, so hopefully we'll get to pack a deer out on this trip.
So these pants that I mentioned earlier that I've got on this trip, these are the 308 line pants from First Light. They're synthetic pants, and in the past I've never been a big fan of synthetics, primarily because of just excessive noise. But in the last couple of years, I found a couple of pairs that I really like. The Trace pants for early season and these 308 line pants for late season are really, really nice. They're not as quiet as my wool pants, but they're much, much lighter, and they dry very, very quickly if they do get wet, and they're warm.
I pretty much use this pack for everything that I do, whether it's day hunting or whether I'm backpacking for a week. This is the Striker XL from Kifaru. One of the features that I like about this pack, and a lot of the Western packs will have this feature, but you can take and separate the bag from the frame itself. You can lay that back. If you're packing elk quarters, you can throw a quarter in here. What I use this for a lot of times if I'm backpacking is I'll take just a big stuff sack and put a bunch of stuff in there and put it between the bag and the frame. And in that way I can use my day pack, basically a day pack, as a long-term backpacking setup. So just some of the other gear that we've got along here, there's two of us, and so we're kind of splitting things up a little bit. I've got the 6-man tent from Argali, the stove, and the stovepipe that goes along with that, and then the half floor in that. We don't need, you know, it's November, there's no bugs, there's no need for the insert with the bug net and all that stuff. Got a 0-degree down bag, 10 days worth of freeze-dried food that Liz did for us on our freeze dryer.
Pasta, beef stroganoff.
So when Liz puts these freeze-dried meals together, I think she puts 8 ounces of freeze-dried food per pack, and that reconstitutes to, I don't know, a lot. It's a big meal, but it's I've never found a freeze-dried meal that is enough, you know, for dinner after you've been hiking in the hills all day. So we started making our own.
So the trekking poles that I have along with me here are serving two functions. They're of course acting as trekking poles, but then also I use them for shooting sticks, because a lot of time you're out here in this open country, you know, there's no trees or anything, and the pack, you know, when I get the pack off and set the pack down, if you're in this brush, the brush is too high. You can't, you know, if you're on the pack, you just can't get high enough to shoot over the top of it. And so by rigging up these trekking poles like this, you got a nice stable set of shooting sticks you can shoot off of and get up above that brush.
It's a heavy load, but not the heaviest I've ever had.
On a hunt like this, where you've got steep ground, sometimes frozen ground, snow covered, I would consider trekking poles to be essential, especially when you're packing out a heavy load.
I've got my Thermarest inflatable. I've got a couple of these things. This is what I use pretty much all the time. I've been really impressed with the Thermarest pads. This is a different one than I first started with, but I still have and still use the very first Thermarest I ever got back in 2010, and it's still going strong. These things are pretty amazing. The binoculars that I have, these are the Razor UHDs from Vortex. I've been using these for, I don't know, couple, 3 or 4 years. I'm using my binos all the time. For me, what I like is a 10 by 42 not only for finding critters, you know, at distance, but also if I'm hunting tight country, I can use these to like punch through the vegetation and see stuff on the other side of, like I've got some shrubs here beside me. I can look on the other side of those shrubs much better with these binoculars than I can with my naked eye, because I can focus past that stuff that's close to me. Tucked in the back, I did a little reel on Instagram about the stuff that I carry in my bino harness here just a little bit ago. But this is the knife that I have with me kind of on my person all the time. This is the Mini Speed Goat 2 from Montana Knife Company. Razor blade. A little light that's on the back here just in case my primary headlamp goes dead. And then of course I got an extra powder and shot for the muzzleloader, priming horn, hunting license, all that stuff goes in there. So the water filter that we're using on this trip, this is the Platypus, I don't know what model it is, but I'm sure if you Google Platypus water filter, this one will come up. But I've been using this one for a number of years. This is what we use at elk camp. We usually just filter right into a big jug because the whole family's drinking out of it. But it comes with both a dirty and a clean side, and it's relatively packable. It's certainly not ultralight, but it's doable, especially for two guys. So for boiling water to reheat the freeze-dried meals, I've got just one of the little MSR pocket rocket stoves in here. I've got a couple of fuel canisters, and then I've got this Vargo bot. You guys have seen this before if you've watched very many of my videos. Pretty much carry this thing everywhere. Makes dinner time easy. Just boil a little water, pour it in one of those Mylar packs, and rehydrate that freeze-dried meal. So next item is a headlamp. This is the Petzl Actic Core. I've had this light since 2018, I think. It's been a lot of miles. I've beat the tar out of this thing. It's got a rechargeable battery in there, but then it's also got the option where you can put 3 AAA batteries in there. So, you know, if you wanted to, you could carry a couple of AAAs in there just in case your battery died. Water bottle, that's just a standard Nalgene. I've talked about it in the past. I like water bottles versus like the water bladders. For me, the water bladders just kind of get slimy and nasty after a while, so I typically just go with a regular old Nalgene. Paracord. I like paracord. It's got 1,000 different uses. Again, I've got 50 feet here. Now I did a video last summer, last fall, I think, on how I make this pemmican. I like that stuff. It's really calorie dense. There's fat, there's meat, there's some dried berries, some dried nuts, and some of it I think I put some honey in there. Gives it just a little bit of sweetness, and it makes it really good. I've got a little Garmin InReach Mini here. This thing links to my phone via Bluetooth, and I can send and receive text with this. It's got an SOS feature on there, so if something happens, you know, I fall and break my leg or whatever, I can send a message out and get help coming my way. One of the things I have in my pocket pretty much every day is a lighter, and again, I've got some Leuco tape wrapped around this lighter. Just handy for getting fires going, handy for singeing the ends of paracord, replacing field tips or broadheads or any of that stuff.
The flintlock rifle that I'm using on this hunt is a kit that I got from Tennessee Valley Manufacturing probably 20-ish years ago. And if you want to see this rifle in action on this particular hunt, stay tuned because this video is coming up.
In addition to all the hunting and camping stuff, we do have a bunch of camera gear. I've got the Sony that this is being filmed on right now. I have a GoPro, battery banks, extra batteries, all of that fun stuff, different lenses, lens filters. So you get to, when you come out to film a hunt, it's not just hunting, it's all the stuff that goes around to actually capture it on film and share it with you guys. Gotta get them time lapses. See, I don't see all this stuff most of the time. You just see the finished product. Oh, on the fresh ground. All right. It does feel lighter for some reason.